Good morning, Mesh. Catch us on Twitter as @Mashalaba Speaks. IG, it will be the man Yonela. Catch us on Facebook as Yonela Mashalaba. Good morning, Mash, the After Jog Thoughts. My name is Uyonela Mashalaba, aka the iceberg that never broke. Do catch us on Twitter as Mashalaba Speak. On IG, we are the man Yonela. Facebook, Uyonela Mashalaba. I know I haven't had many shows since the lockdown, but everyone knows what has been happening around the country and around the globe. We have been faced with a pandemic that have affected over 3 million people. So movement in South Africa has been very difficult. So for shows like mine, where I rely a lot on expert information and expert input, or rather people who are particularly professionals in or rather know the particular subject very well in the issues that I'm dealing with, it has been a bit difficult for me to get content to you guys. But I have been trying. As you must have noticed, in the past weeks or so, 3 weeks or so, I did go to Motherwell Township in an attempt to get some content and information to everyone. I did do a live on IG a couple of days ago, which was busy talking, which was concentrated on bridging the digital divide amid COVID-19, where we had a very lengthy discussion about the different ideas and innovations to bridge the digital technology gap between the haves and the haves not. We had several people on that live. It was hosted on Instagram Live. We had several people. We had Pedro Mzileni, who is a sociology PhD candidate at the Nelson Mandela University, where Pedro was discussing the decolonization as a special question, where he went into trying to make us understand the different roles that universities play, and how their spatial location informs the manner in which they interact with each and every one of us as student. So that was based on a paper that he co-wrote with Nomalanga Mkhize. And he did on the actual live itself leave a particular detail in terms of how you can get a hold of that paper. So basically, like I said, that paper just deals with the spatial location of the different institutions in the country, and how those impact the living and learning experience of every student. We further discussed about the possibilities of access to education to be looked at in a different manner than that requires you to focus on the built material access to education, where you talk about buildings, where you talk about certain infrastructures that not necessarily technology based, like the possibility, for example, of having distance learning as seen as another tool of access to education. It was a very wholesome discussion, to be honest with you, and I've been trying to get that discussion on different social media platforms, but I've just been experiencing several technical difficulties, particularly with trying to get that video from my iCloud so it can be edited and then put up in different platforms such as this. So again, before I continue, don't forget to subscribe so that you can get more information on these particular videos that I do and the information that I do provide to you guys as students and as local residents of the Nelson Mandela University. On the platform, we also had Upindokuhle Sikhosana. Upindokuhle Sikhosana is a master's graduate in construction management. And she also did human settlements prior to that. So she did an undergrad in human settlements and went on to graduate her master's in construction management. Upindokuhle was articulating the different spatial legislation and how those impact resource location, and how those would potentially impact things like e-learning. And then we had Usive Mngele. Usive Mngele was talking about the technological opportunities that are propelled by COVID-19 or the coronavirus. He went on to state that most countries, anyways, in the global north were already migrating towards these online platforms, and the reason that the global south was left behind is obviously because of the different technological challenges that we face as the global south. So this can possibly be seen as an opportunity for all of us to catch up to the technology, or he suggested that perhaps this could be seen as a window, because this type of technology was estimated to be the propulsion of economic development in the global north as the number one technological propulsion or industrial propulsion by 2030. And now what the pandemic has done, it has accelerated that to happen in 2020. And he was suggesting that perhaps we should be seeing this as a window of what the future is going to be as the global south, so that like we are able to position ourselves towards that particular future. So we are given almost a snippet of what is going to be, and it's almost like watching a bootleg movie where you are shown in advance what is going to happen. So in that sense, this is an opportunity for all of us to just look into the future and take some lessons from this. So that was what he was articulating on. I am going to be having other interviews as well, particularly with the student president of the Nelson Mandela University students. I'm planning to have an interview with someone else who is very important in terms of the teaching and learning path that our students have had to partake in. I don't want to bring out names now, but I think it's someone that is going to bring a lot of value and clarity in terms of what is happening in the institution, and would be able to articulate the different pathways in terms of the different aids that are going to be provided to assist students. It's going to be coming from a very authoritative perspective, someone with authority to speak on those particular issues or subject matters. So it's someone that I think is going to contribute a lot. Yeah, but like I said, it's a bit challenging for a channel like myself, like the one that I run, to have the type of content that is particularly relevant to everyone. Yes, of course, there are different platforms that we could utilize to make sure that the content is continuous, but even those have their own limitations. Like, we could go online with Zoom, but Zoom is unstable and the picture quality is unstable at times, particularly for this type of work. This type of work requires you to have cameras like the one I have in front of you, and the quality of the video that I'll get from Zoom is not one that I'll be satisfied with to actually put it up there. But yes, I am gonna use a mix of the different technologies to make sure that I'm able to bring content to you guys. For example, the next interview I'm going to have is probably either going to be with the president or the other person that I had promised, and either one of those interviews are going to have mixed technologies where I'm going to be watch and listen to. So yeah, I will just be updating you guys continuously on this very important channel. Again, don't forget to subscribe. Please subscribe on this channel. It brings relevant information. For example, there was an issue that came up in the past few weeks of the health sector of the Eastern Cape being ill prepared to deal with the pandemic, and these are all issues that I had dealt with right at the beginning of lockdown. I went to the clinics, I went to the district Department of Health, and what I found out was that there was no information that was flowing down to the employees, such as nurses and doctors, in terms of what must be done and when it must be done. The people that I met at one clinic were complaining that there was no gear that was provided to them. There was no instructions that were provided to them. So that's what I'm trying to articulate, that I give you information that I kind of understand that it's going to be important at a particular time. I'm going to have another interview about something that I think could or could not have an impact of how we live our daily life if that particular department has not been attended to. And I haven't seen a lot of people dealing with that particular department, and I think it's important. But when it happens, I will obviously post it. And yeah, again, igama lam nguYonela Mashalaba, aka the iceberg that never broke. To catch us on our next video, I will do my best to make sure that you guys have continuous content.